and found that drones that are below 250 grams, you're allowed to fly closer to people than 50 metres and over their heads.
How you doing? You okay?
Hi, I'm just in the middle of something at the moment.
Yeah. Is that your drone, is it, mate?
Yeah.
Ah, lovely.
Sorry, did you want to speak to me about something?
We just come to have a chat with you because obviously we saw the drone being flown over a private check site.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so we just need to check some details through so we can make any referrals that we need to the CAA.
Sorry, hang on.
I'm sure there's nothing personal against yourself. Obviously, we're out conducting business and over on a private check site. We tend to come over and have a chat with people, make sure everything's all okay.
What's your first name, sir?
Sorry,
What's your first name?
what's my first
What
name?
is your first name?
I don't need to give my details, do I?
You committed an offence because you've been flying that in public.
Hold on. This is where it all begins. The officer is about to challenge something that might already be perfectly legal. Under UK Civil Aviation Authority guidance, drones under 250 grams have far fewer restrictions. So the real question isn't, is he flying? It's what class of drone is he flying? This detail is going to matter. A lot. Watch how this tiny weight difference becomes the entire case.
So flying a drone in public is an offence?
You're flying that over a public piece of land, yeah?
Right, so over a bit of public land it's an offence, is it?
Yes. What's the guidance you were given?
What's the offence you think I've committed?
Right, okay.
It's a bit presumptuous to start suggesting that I've committed an offence.
You're flying it over members of the police and members of the DVSA who are trying to do some work, okay?
Is that an offence?
It is an offence. I'm going to get you, you've asked me what the specific offence is, I'll get that for you.
Okay, if you could, yeah, that'd be great.
What's the local channel up here?
183. Have you been stopped by the police before? Have you?
Am I required to answer that question as well?
If you're suspected of an offence,
Yeah.
then you'll be required to give me your details.
Right, what offence do you suspect me of committing?
We're going around in circles. You're flying the drone over a public place.
Flying a drone over a public place?
Okay, you want the specific act and section, yeah?
Yeah. Flying a drone over a private place might be something that's...
If you want to buy a field and fly your drone in it, no, I've got no issue with that, and the Civil Aviation Authority...
So you think the only place I'm allowed to fly a drone is over my own land, is that so?
You think you can fly that through the middle of town, do you? Through amongst people's heads as they go out their business in Tiverton High Street? Is that your understanding of the law?
I'm not prepared to discuss what I think.
Okay, pause right here. When an officer asks for your name, they generally need reasonable suspicion that you've committed an offence. Not a vibe. Not a guess. An actual, articulable suspicion. Notice how the officer says it's in case something happens later. That's not how legal thresholds work. Do you think suspicion was clearly established here? Or are we already seeing mission drift?
Why haven't you told me about it? It's your
I haven't had a
policy.
conversation yet with you.
Yeah, but if you're filming members of the public, unless you've got authorisation to do it covertly...
Sir, focus on me, because I'm talking to you about flying your drone, okay? So I'm quoting to you now from the Civil Aviation Authority website, okay?
Right.
This is the guidance, where you can fly, legal heights, distances from people, and where you must not fly.
Right. I'll be with you in a minute. It's obviously...
Do not fly closer to people than 50 metres.
Right, I'm just going to be videoing you for evidence, okay? In the same way as you guys video us. You for evidence, okay? In the same way as you guys video us. The public. Right, go on then.
Okay, so I'm quoting to you from the Civil Aviation Authority website. It says here, do not fly closer to people than 50 metres. Well, you were certainly within 50 metres of me when I stood in the middle of the DVSA check site.
Right.
Okay, so I suspect you of then breaching that regulation, so I'm asking for your details.
Right, so which class of drone does that refer to?
Bear with me. If you're flying a drone or model aircraft that's below 250 grams, you can fly close to people within 50 metres and you can fly over them. What weight is your drone?
Am I required to answer that question?
This is the turning point. The officer reads the 50-meter rule, but context matters. Those distance limits apply to specific drone classes. And if this drone is under 250 grams, different rules apply. This is why knowing the exact regulation, not just part of it, is critical. One missing clause can flip the entire interaction. So now the tension shifts. Can she back up the suspicion with the correct section?
Website.
Yes.
And found that drones that are below 250 grams,
Okay.
you're allowed to fly closer to people than 50 metres and over their heads. So therefore you don't suspect me of committing an offence anymore, do you?
Well, I'm not trying to trick you. You've come to a traffic officer's course. There's a number of officers in there doing some traffic work.
Right.
You're flying a drone over our heads. It's distracting us from our work, and it's potentially a safety issue. So I've come out to discuss that with you.
Right.
And the first thing you want to do is to film me and refuse to give me any details.
The first thing you want to do is accuse me of committing an offence and start making up laws and saying that I have to give you my details when you know I don't.
I asked you, mate. You said no.
Yep.
You then asked me quite understandably, do I have to? I've said, I suspect you may have committed an offence. You said, what offence? So I'm now looking at, if you want specific act and section, then I'll do what I can to try and find that for you.
Well, do you want me to help you out with that? I'm not committing an offence.
Okay, because what's your understanding of...
Because you've just read the rules out and I'm within those rules.
The weight of your drone?
Well, I'm telling you that it is within the rules. You saw how small it was. So unless you reasonably suspect that it's heavier than that...
Okay, keep at least 150 metres away from residential, commercial and industrial
What class of drone's that?
Well,
I'm telling you, it's ones that are above 250 grams.
Whoa. Did you catch that escalation? We just jumped from a drone discussion to threats of public order. Here's the legal reality. Section 5 public order law isn't about bruised egos. The word insulting was actually removed years ago. That means being annoyed is not a crime. So when enforcement turns personal, that's usually when professionalism starts slipping. Should officers be trained better on what actually qualifies as disorder?
Understanding of the regulations for flying your drone, what do you believe it is?
Well, I'm allowed to fly my drone over there. Unless you've got specific agreements with the Civil Aviation Authority to say that I'm not allowed to fly my drone over there.
I'll tell you what I'll do, because we have a team of drone operators within the police.
Yep.
I will try and get hold of one of them. I'll say I've got a chap here who's not being very forthcoming with anything at all.
I am. I've explained all the rules to you.
You won't even tell me who you are.
Well, why should I tell you who I am? So I know I'm not committing an offence.
You haven't given me any rules. You've just said I'm allowed to fly my drone.
Yeah.
You haven't quoted any rules.
Well, I have. I've explained to you, when you've read up those rules, I've explained to you that I know I am allowed to fly there because there's no legislation that says that I'm not allowed to fly there.
Okay. I'm happy to admit to you, sir, my specialism is traffic, so
Right.
I'm operating outside of my area of expertise.
Right.
But
Well, I'm helping you out here, aren't I, by telling you what the rules are.
Well, we'll get our colleagues
okay,
who
and
know the rules.
forgive me for saying this, but I can't let people go and just disappear off and not give any details. If I suspect an offence has taken place and you're just refusing me details and you're telling me that you haven't broken the law, because it may be that you have.
Maybe I have.
It may be that you have.
Yeah,
I suspect you may have committed an offence.
Well, I haven't.
Forgive me for not knowing the acting section.
Okay, well, obviously, if you arrested me for failing to give you my details when I know I haven't committed an offence.
I'm going to arrest you.
Right.
You've brought that into the conversation I haven't mentioned on. But likewise, I might be able to assist you in stopping you being stopped by the police unnecessarily. I don't know why we need to.
Well, it's quite an interesting. Well, it's quite an interesting site, and I want to film it. I know that I'm within the law to do that, and I'm quite entitled to do it.
And
You've come out here threatening me that if I don't give you my details, I could be arrested.
I never said that.
Well, that is the case, though, isn't it? You say you suspected me of.
I've never threatened. The first person to mention arrest was you.
No, you said that you suspect I might have committed an offence, so therefore I have to give you my details. Now, if you suspect I've committed an offence and I won't give you my details, what's your next course of action?
Well, I'm going to get some advice. I've then said,
arrest,
I'll be honest with you, sir. You're speaking to a traffic officer about something to do with drones. It's outside my area of expertise.
Okay.
And I've asked for you just to be patient with me while I get some specialist advice from officers within the police who know something about drones.
Okay, well, fair enough. I think you've been reasonably humble about it.
Maybe. I'm always honest with people. I don't know every law. I certainly can't. Even traffic stuff, I wouldn't know acts and sections. I'd have to go into my books. So I am well outside my area of expertise. My only concern is a little bit that I've encountered in the news or just reading magazines about drones. I do have concerns about you flying it within probably 20 metres of my head and my colleague's head when we are trying to deal with...
Look, I'll help you out, right? I'll help you out. So I'll get my drone out.
Okay.
And there it is. 249 grams. 1 gram under the threshold. That tiny number just dismantled the entire suspicion. This is why facts matter more than authority. Notice something else too. The officer shifts from enforcement mode to safety concerns. That's a much stronger argument than misquoting regulations. When legal ground weakens, conversations often pivot to distraction or risk. Is that fair? Or just a fallback?
Right, so that's evidence. I've shown you now that it's within the rules. I can fly it where I like.
249G written on the side.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to get a set of scales out and weigh your drone.
Okay, it's all weighing in my favour now though, isn't it? You've looked on the CAA website. I've explained the rules to you. I've shown you that it's a 249 gram drone. So now you know I'm not doing anything wrong, perfectly within the rules, so I can take off again and carry on with what I was doing, can't I?
Not until we get that advice from officers that know more about the situation.
The issue is, sir, the mechanics and my colleagues in there who are working around heavy bits of machinery are concerned because right above our heads we've got a bit of buzzing machinery. We don't know who's doing it. We don't know anything about it.
You've got like massive 100-ton aircraft flying over your heads. You know, that surely that'd be more of a worry than a little 250 gram thing that's buzzing over your head.
I can only pass on what I feel. It's distracting me from my work. It's distracting colleagues. They're looking up at what might be buzzing, what's buzzing just above their heads, whilst they're trying to work around 13-ton cranes which may suddenly move or have a defect. So I'm not trying to be awkward. I just want my colleagues to be safe. I want me to be safe, and I want to make sure that if it is fine, then I may have learned something today. And I'm more than happy to admit that I'm not here to be tricked. Everything's being filmed. Yeah. Quite frankly, I don't want to look a wally on YouTube, whatever I may end up on, so I'm more than happy to admit I may not know that much about drones.
That's fair enough, thank you very much.
I am a traffic officer.
Yeah, but I just think it's important that if we're allowed to do something, the public, we should be able to do it, and we shouldn't be able to have like stormtroopers coming out telling us that we're not allowed to do it.
Do you think I'm a stormtrooper?
Well, I'm just saying, you know, you guys, the way you're dressed, you know, with all your stab vests, and you're kind of like, your badges. Sorry.
I have to identify myself as a police officer, otherwise...
Yeah, but what's this? That's not part of the uniform, is it?
It's to explain which team I work on. I'm part of the No Excuse team. It's a traffic department within Exeter Policing.
Okay.
It is. If you want to check Twitter or Facebook, it is.
Is that provided by the force, that badge, or is that something you had to source yourself?
That's something I sourced myself. I'll be honest with you.
So okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that the uniform policy says that you're not allowed to decorate your uniform with badges that aren't issued by the police.
We are going well away from the reasons why I came out here to have a chat with you in the first place.
Okay.
You seem to have many questions about the police. I came out here to try and discuss with you about the drone.
Okay.
I'm more than happy to admit that I need some specialist advice about the drone.
Yeah. Okay.
I've already taken out.
Well, I think you've been quite reasonable about it, to be fair.
Okay.
But you know, as soon as you work
stopped by the police and I wasn't a policeman,
yeah,
I also may have some questions. So I understand the position you're in. If you don't deal with the police very often, you may well have some questions.
I just think it's important that we should be able to live our lives and only be policed by laws that actually exist, not just because of an opinion that individuals hold.
And I am very aware, having done this job for 15 years, that if there's no power to do something, quite frankly I wouldn't want to waste my time doing it, and also it would be unlawful for me to start trying to enforce things that don't exist.
Okay.
I'd say for me it was a simple safety issue. I came out here, I saw you controlling the drone.
I was hovering above the building, to be fair, wasn't I? I wasn't.
Well,
actually,
I don't know if you can see, but between where your drone was and the path you've had to take to get to and from that, you're going over an area where vehicle examiners are doing their work. Some of them are flying on their backs underneath heavy machinery. If you were trying to do a job that required a bit of delicate concentration, perhaps you might find that distracting.
Distracting,
I don't know what
but
you do for a living, but say, it's a safety issue for me.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I say,
Okay.
in terms of the technicalities, I'll admit I don't know the technicalities about drones. I think my colleagues there, there's a drone team as part of the police, and I'm more than happy to take some advice on this.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. I think you've been reasonable about it. Hopefully, you think I've been reasonable about it too. I mean, obviously, I haven't provided my details because I know I haven't committed an offence.
And I'm not entirely sure of my powers on drones, so I'm not going to push that point. It helps to have a conversation if I know who I'm talking to. And again, I'm really hot on the safety side of things. I know some police sometimes you'd like to know who they're dealing with so they can risk assess it, and that's the reason why I asked your name.
Well, I'll give you a hand, right? So as long as it's below 250 grams, you can fly it where you like, as long as it isn't within a restricted zone. So in Exeter, for example, you've got the airport and you're not allowed to fly in that zone, but the drone itself won't allow you to fly in the Exeter zone. Okay. It sort of like starts from the police station, actually, heading towards the airport, and it's quite a large area that you're not allowed to fly in. You're not allowed to snoop through people's bedroom windows and infringe on their privacy.
No, I would hope not.
As long as it's below 250 grams, you're pretty much allowed to fly where you like.
Okay, and that phrase there, pretty much allowed to fly where you like. The devils can sometimes be in the details, and that's what
there's things like, you know, where there's Official Secrets Acts, like like army bases and things like that.
I wouldn't say the work we're doing in there is secret, so I don't think that applies. It's just simply...
Or GCHQ, for example.
Okay.
Things like that probably got laws to say you're not allowed to fly drones over them.
I mean, if you want to know what's going on in there, it's no secret.
Well, am I allowed in for a little tour then?
Now this is leadership. The tone changes completely when the sergeant arrives. Calm, measured, de-escalating. No ego. No threats. Just discussion. And here's the bigger takeaway. Knowing the law isn't about winning. It's about preventing unnecessary escalation. The auditor stayed calm. The sergeant stayed professional. That's how you avoid unlawful arrests and viral disasters.